After a wild start to the Truck Series season, and after an even wilder Tuesday night here at the Rock, we return tonight for a second night of racing. This time it's the TI Truck Series here at North Carolina Motor Speedway, or now known as Rockingham Speedway, here in Rockingham, North Carolina. 1.017-mile track produced obviously some great racing from its heyday all the way up until the final Cup race of 2003, and then of course Truck Series for a couple of years, some ARCA races, and so on and so forth, and even rumored coming back potentially on the schedule. That would be kind of cool. Put that out there. But we're ready to rock and roll for some racing here tonight at the Rock. I'm the captain, of course, with you on this Thursday. Hopefully you're enjoying your night here so far as we get closer and closer to the weekend. Feels like Tuesday to me still. That's because I work my tail off for like 24 hours a day. Got a good field of drivers ready to rock and roll. Qualifying underway right now. Brandon Alphin up there on the pole, 23.86 in these trucks. I can tell you right now, these things have a lot more grip than those Cup cars did. The Gen 4 Cup cars that they ran back on Tuesday. So I think we're going to see some interesting racing. We're going to see the same style. You're going to see cars at the bottom, cars at the top, cars in the middle, cars on pit road probably spinning out in the grass, that kind of thing. We're going to get some action here tonight from the Rock. Qualifying is underway right now in the Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Truck Series, and believe it or not, Casey Carrington is not on the pole. That is breaking news. Casey Carrington, not the pole sitter. That's probably because I'm not showing qualifying. He usually shows up when I do that, but no, all jokes aside, got Brandon Alphin right now, Casey Carrington, Stephen Miles is third, with Nick Uricchio, who had a great run here, a P2 finish Tuesday night. Jake Fanoski, Stoney Benfield, the faster pastor, they're P6, now P7 as Mertez jumps into P3, so we'll wait as we get to the race here before we show the action down here on the track. Of course, one race in, Stephen Miles winning that race at the Texas Motor Speedway. And then after tonight, we'll get the point standings up to date and start kind of keeping an eye on that, because from there, it's going to get interesting. As next week, we hit iRacing Super Speedway, that 3-mile track formerly known as Coca-Cola Speedway on the old IR 2003. As the cars come to the grid, and let's show you the starting lineup here. 17 trucks going to take the green flag as Alphin on the pole, as I mentioned, alongside Casey Carrington. Zach Mertez and Stephen Miles there, row 2. Row 3, Nick Uricchio and Jake Vanoski there. Kyle Ethier, Stoney Benfield there, row 4. Row 5 is the Dean Machine, Christopher Dean and Dallas Childers. Good top 10 run start for him. Nick Leo will start alongside Chris Lewis there in row number 6. Row 7, Ronald Piles and Brayton Laster returning tonight. Ryan Whitaker, Craig Martin, Tyler Willard will be the 17 starters to make the run here at the Rock. I totally noticed I didn't even flip down to the other page. There you go. All right, so let's talk to someone. You know what? Let's do it. I'm going to stun him with this one. I don't know if I've ever interviewed him on the air. So he gets a first tonight. Dallas, you got a copy?
I got you right.
I do, Captain. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Other than my microphone's not muting the drivers, which I just remembered. I've never updated my wheel and stuff. So
exactly.
Anyways, you're going to talk over these guys here for a second. But, man, what do you expect tonight here in that 10 truck?
I expect a lot of excitement, Captain, because we're not going to be in the Gen 4 cars we were in Tuesday night. It shouldn't be as loose. So hoping we can keep it underneath us tonight and have a good run, and everybody keep it clean. I anticipate it to be a much greener run for everybody as we have the one to go.
All right, man. Well, hey, best of luck. Go. Yeah, best of luck here in the race.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is Dallas Childers, who, as he said himself, doesn't sense the car will be sliding around here tonight. So I just realized, I guess my wheel is not on. I'm still having the wheel issues, but then again, I haven't raced in a couple days, so that would explain some things. All right, 120 laps again, going to make up the race this evening here at the Rock as the pace car will pull off 74 and 104. Track temperature, 3 sets of tires, and 35% fuel. As the green flag is out, here we go. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. It is the Rock, so you got to be very careful through 1 and 2 there, especially let these tires heat up a little bit. As already looking 3 wide, here's caution is out right away. Ronald Piles
66, you all right there, bud?
has gone around in turn 1. Shades of Auto Club last season. And that thing is up in smoke. Oh, Dallas got the outside wall. Oh, and then Whitaker turns Piles. What in the world? Oh, I said, okay, Piles got loose in front of Whitaker, and Whitaker just kind of finished him off there. Turned him into the inside wall. A lot of cars on pit road here. Kyle Ethier, Ryan Whitaker, Dallas Childers, Brayton Laster, Willard, Craig Martin, and then obviously Piles getting that nose fixed. And that engine damage obviously going to hurt him here as so Carrington looks like got the lead from Alphen there on the first lap. As the caution came out there, Mertez in third. See the 7 back there at fourth of Stephen Miles. As we come to the green here at lap number 4. The 4 truck leads Alphen, Mertez, Miles, and Vinosky. So Carrington pulling out to a lead of about 4/10 over Zach Mertez, now up to second, Alphen up to third. And Jake Vinosky there, top 5. You see the trucks kind of spreading out. I was told earlier the top side might be the way to go in turn 1 and 2, and then it's the bottom in 3 and 4. So we'll have to see. I know one thing, when you run that top side there, you do get the run. You got to be careful, though, like Lewis there got tight, or got loose, I should say. Probably was tight center. And when you do that, it makes you have to turn the wheel a little more. Front end bites, and you get a little snappy. As Nick Leo there he is in the 69 truck. Up against the wall. There's Dean. Looking at the back of the Marion Chrysler truck there, the Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram truck, that is a photo of Mimsy, the cat. I think that's Mimsy. I think Chris has like 57 cats. Don't quote me on that. Something like that. Dean a little bit now into his wheelhouse when it comes to this track. The trucks on an old surface. This is what I talked about a little bit Tuesday night. I thought he had a chance in that race there with the Gen 4, but now in the truck at this track, this could be a Dean type of night as Carrington pulls away 1.1 off of in front of Mertes, off in there 2.2, and then Miles and Eurykio, your top 5. Obviously, truck a lot different than the Gen 4 car. Very heavy drag-wise, a lot of downforce on the front. You carry a lot of speed into and out of the corners, where the Gen 4, you got to be patient getting to the throttle. Yeah, a lot more horsepower. Of course, the trucks did run here a couple times. Casey Carrington actually messaged me, the leader of this race, a little bit ago, said he was watching the last time the trucks actually ran at this track, which I believe was 2013-ish, somewhere in that area. He was looking at the drivers in that race. He mentioned that Larson, Blaney, Chase Elliott, a bunch of others were in that actual race. And if I remember that one correctly, Kyle Larson won that race. Driving for, I believe he was driving for, of course, I'm going to forget the guy's name. Turner Scott, I believe it was at the time. Everybody kind of spread out a little bit there. One thing I am noticing watching the timing, let's look up here on the timing and scoring. If you look at Mertes, you notice he's about 1.36 back. Watch his entrance here. You could see it. See how he gains about a tenth and a half, and then all of a sudden it goes backwards? So basically, that tells me right there, Mertes is driving it into the corner pretty deep, and Carrington's backing it up. That time, Mertes almost overdrove the corner, went topside there in 3 and 4. Piles, unfortunately, still on pit road. Yeah, it's smoking motor, probably at least 15 minutes. If it was totally blown up, then it's going to be a 30-minute. Got a battle for 6th as Lewis underneath Vanoski for position. Got Leo there behind him. As Piles leaving pit road, so right on cue, 17 laps down. Unfortunately, he's going to need a lot of help to gain some track position, but you never know. We're going to have a lot of pit stops here coming, especially the next couple laps. 3 or 4 at least in this race. As Lewis getting up there tight on Jake. And piles right back on pit road, so that truck must be broken. As Eurykio now under attack. And now they're wrecking, I believe. One hard into the wall. That is Dean. Eurykio also involved. No caution. We stay green as everybody's paints decide to reset. I didn't hit Control R, so I'm not sure what that's all about. So no caution being that everybody was off the track when that happened, but let's see the replay. So Jake gets to the bottom here. And a lot of net code. And then Dean gets clipped as Nick tried to lock it down. But I definitely see a little bit of net code in here, which is never good. Let me hit stop and get to the right camera here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Watch the distance here. That is never good. So battle's starting to shape up for second as Mertes as Stephen Miles comes to pit road, so let the pit stops begin here. Lap number 27. I would expect this to be a fuel-only stop here, likely. Chris Lewis on pit road, so is Leo. Carrington now in the leader as he gets 4 tires and fuel. There's Alphin and Whitaker coming to pit road also. The Ethier coming to pit road as you see the 21 leaving. Dallas Childers, Eurykio, Kyle Ethier, as I mentioned. Craig Martin, Brayton Laster. So green flag pit stops here at lap 30. should be fuel only for a lot of these guys. And one thing I should mention, there was a new build, obviously, on iRacing this week. I just overheard a driver, I think it was Willard, talk about a penalty he got. A lot of the penalties have changed in this build. So there are actually more drive-through penalties than there used to be. I believe like speeding through the pits and things like that, I believe are now drive-throughs. So that's something that when we're out there racing, if we get a penalty, you're going to need to pay attention a little bit to what it says we need to do. If you go down pit road and it says you're supposed to drive through and you stop in your pit stall, it's not going to count as a drive-through penalty. And you'll have to come back in and pit again. So that is something I think probably a bigger change than people would think. As Leo getting past Whitaker here. 32 laps complete out of 120. Just the one caution so far in this Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Truck Series. Go up here to third as Stephen Miles battles with Zach Mertez. Brayton last year there behind him. Unfortunately, Brayton's a lap down in that 13 truck. Miles and Mertez giving each other, or I should say, yeah, Miles and Mertez giving each other lots of room. If I say that as Miles slides up a little bit. Blaster in the Blaster Motorsports truck. As Miles finally clears him, so move him up to third. Unfortunately, about 5.5 seconds back of Carrington, who's got a pretty good lead on Alphin. Chris Lewis up to the 5th position there with Nick Leo. Ryan Whitaker in the 7th position. Lewis up there planted on that top side. Now, Lewis brought that thing off the wall all the way down to the bottom lane. That just shows you how much grip they have in his track. Just the difference in that truck and the Gen 4 car you saw. Right now showing 11 trucks on the lead lap. Craig Martin, the last one, he was having a little bit of blinking issues earlier. That's why he was kind of hanging back. And you see him about 21 seconds off. So hopefully he got his connection issue fixed. I say that as his name starts blinking on my screen, which tells me he is blinking right now. But this right here, the closest battle is Lewis trying to hold off Leo. And Eurykio starting to join this battle. Unfortunately for Nick, though, he is a lap down after the damage in that accident. And he is coming screaming through here. He almost went Dunkaroo through 3 wide. So I look over, it looks like Nick might have had tires. Dean's off the, well, Dean is still on track. Willard's still on track. So everybody is still on track except Ronald Piles, who unfortunately is back on pit road. So if these guys can get to lap 60, Then we're looking at a one-stop race the rest of the way. If they end up a little short of 60, that could really get interesting then. So Leo looking to make moves as he continues to battle with Chris here. So good fight here. Like I said, everybody else is kind of separated out. You got Whitaker actually is kind of trailing back here. See what kind of speeds we're running out here. By the way, I never put the weather up. 97-degree track temp as there's the 29 hitting the wall. Speed differences right there. You saw that. We were, what, 170 mile an hour into turn one in a cup car. We were 155 into three. Let's see where we are here. All 161 miles an hour. So a near 10 mile an hour difference. As I think Brandon Alphin, has Alphin fallen out? I think he did. So Stephen Miles going to move to second. Tough break for the 21. Leo finally getting around Lewis. So move Nick up to fourth, Chris back to fifth. It's all 12 seconds back from Carrington, who actually leads by 6.5, almost over Miles. I was going to say Brayton's starting to blink out now, or is that Craig blinking? One of them. I think it's Martin. It's unfortunately having a blinking issue. He's doing a good job staying out of the way of everybody. But there's your leader right there, coming up on the back of Craig Martin. AC Carrington has pretty much led all the green flag laps minus the pit stops, as he leads by 6.6. And I think this could be a situation where if you're Miles, being so far back, you might have to try something different here on this pit stop. And what I mean by that is you expect Carrington to probably go 4 tires here. Maybe if you're Miles, do you try going fuel only again and then go tires, the final 2 stops or the final stop? Oh, or you could just short pit as Miles is right now. Lap 51, here he comes. He was the first one in last time. And now comes back to pit road again. And look at that, Carrington follows him right in. So does Leo. And others. So Miles 14.8, he pulls away. You see Chris Lewis pulling away in a 111 truck before getting 4 tires and fuel. Dallas Childers making his pit stops. We talked to him a little bit ago. Appreciate him joining us. So the lead now to Zach Mertes. And it looks sound like I just heard him calling out his pit stop here. As he will come in. And now hand the lead to Kyle Ethier in the 6. And it looks like Mertes can do tires and fuel. So from what I'm seeing here, Carrington 4 tires, Miles 4 tires. Everybody taking tires here. And caution is coming out. Caution. And Nick Leo, unfortunately, with issues as, again, his paint scheme. I don't know what that's about. That's twice now. And that throws a wrinkle into everything. Oh, wow. So was Martin coming to pit road there, and did somebody not communicate it? If so, that's 2 straight weeks that's happened. Not here particular to these two guys, but yeah, right here, look at Martin. Well, Leo's not going to be happy about that. As leaders are going to come in. So 4 tires and fuel for those who are still in the lead lap. And so Lewis is coming to pit road. Hang on, I'm going to talk to the guys. Well, I can't talk to them. I get the message with the guys. my mic's not on. There we go. So Carrington's the leader as we come to the green here. I believe Mertes ended up getting stuck a lap down. I was just trying to explain it to him. And yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it either. But what happens is iRacing gives the lucky dog to the first truck a lap down on the track. So Mertes, what he was saying is he should have been the first one lap down. But being he was on pit road, being he was the first one, but he was still on pit road, it didn't give him the lucky dog. So Carrington now with Miles right at the halfway point in the battle for third. Oh, no, sorry, it's not a battle for third because Ryan Whitaker is a lap down in seventh. He and Mertes racing for the lucky dog right here. As, Eureka goes spinning to the inside. No caution yet as he's off the track. Miles still trying to chase Carrington down here. Ethier out there on an island by himself, 1.4 seconds back. It's 4 seconds back to Chris Lewis. And being told potentially the contact with Nick was with Mr. Lewis. Let's see. Oh, whoa. Lewis went down into Nick there. Nice job by Brayton to miss as Dean returns to the track. Nice job by Nick to pull that off. But why was, let's see here why Chris was so shallow coming off the corner. Oh, more net code. What do you know? More net code. Net code making a nice appearance tonight. I'm going to throw out a message to the crew real quick. Mertes, Whitaker. They continue to battle here for the lucky dog spot. So I think if you're in Mertes' shoes here, or even in Whitaker's, I think you're forced to try to run this as long as you can. Watch that battle. We'll also go back to the front here because Miles is right on the back of Carrington here as they go past the lap car of Nick Leo. As I mentioned, one more stop in this race. Both of them doing a good job, just racing hard here and keeping out of the fence. Very tough to do at a track like this. How about Brayton Laster running 5th, the Pizza Man? He's about 3 seconds off of Lewis. So obviously, the question here is how many tires does everybody have left? I know at least one set's been used. As Eurykio gets passed by both Mertes and Whitaker. Unfortunately there, so he is no longer the first car a lap down. Check out the Faster Pastor there, 75 truck, the 811 sponsorship. 10th position for him tonight, as Brayton just caught the wall off 2. How many church pastors do you know that go out here and iRace? I only know one. That one right there. And I know one guy who's absolutely dominated here tonight, Casey Carrington. That Square D Bobby Hamilton throwback has led pretty much all the laps under green flag outside of pit stops. Got the MH designs on the back of the truck. Of course, Mike Husby. They'll be back on track tomorrow night. Where? Hell if I remember. I can look, I guess. Dover tomorrow night. So he's starting to pull away from Miles, so you wonder if Miles has burned up the right front a little bit there. And that Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram truck. If we get another caution, we'll talk to Lewis here. Get a little update on what's going on there at Marion. If not, you can always check out MarionCDJF.com, or sorry, MarionCDJR.com. Our lucky dog battle. There's Whitaker, 6th position. As he's got about a second now on Mertes. And here comes Carrington, the leader. Going to try to short pit Miles. And I wonder if this is interesting. Lap 80. So this might be a 2-stop race to the finish. I don't know if you can go 40 laps on a tank here with the 35% fuel. And now Miles on pit road, so is Lewis. And Zach Mertz is now to pit road. Piles back on track. Unfortunately, well, he's going to gain a spot with Alfin falling out. He'll gain on him in about 13 laps and jump up to 16th. So he'll be able to say my old favorite line I like to say when I race. Won't finish last tonight, boys. As Ethier comes to pit road now. Mertz is on pit road. Craig Martin is in. So if I do the math here, Brayton Laster pitted at 58. We're at 84 now, so we're at about 25 laps, 26 laps. So yeah, we're definitely making one more stop here in this race. There's Laster leading. And he's going to play the caution game here. Do something different. I like it. So Carrington going to continue with the lead here. 3.8 seconds, it looks like, over the 7 now. Once he gets past Laster here, who's on pit road. And an Ethier will jump up to third, Lewis fourth. And that's it. 4 cars will be on the lead lap. Laster could stay on the lead lap here. I mean, I remember back in the heyday, you used to go 2 laps down here if you pitted. Well, I say that, Laster's still on pit road, so he just lost a second. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He just went a lap down. So yeah, pretty much lost 2 laps there. He got the lap, gave up the lap. He was ahead of everybody and then lost a lap coming off pit road. So that just shows you how long, and that's with this traditional pit road the way it is. And Laster does come out, though, the first car lap down until Whitaker's going to go by him here. So, again, a lot of strategy in places right now. Ryan Whitaker doing a good job setting himself up to get the lucky dog if we get another yellow. But right now, looking like a green flag look. So again, next week, the first of the split when it comes to the series. One thing that I mentioned that Lewis did this season is he allowed the opportunity for people to, with a donation of money, purchase what track on the schedule they could swap out. So somebody actually swapped out Pocono for iRacing Super Speedway this week. That somebody's the guy on the screen, Kyle Ethier. He also swapped out Nashville's fairgrounds for Dover. So next week in the Gen 4 car, we'll be at Pocono in the trucks at iRacing Super Speedway. So I'm tempted to do something kind of sneaky myself, but we'll see. Everybody pretty spread out amongst each other here. Casey leads by 4.5, and then Kyle Ethier about 3 seconds behind Miles. And then Chris Lewis is about 2.1 back. The battle right now looks like it's right in here. As Brayton stays within about 1 second of Whitaker. Mertz has fallen back 7.5 seconds. I'm curious, what tires does everybody have here? I'm assuming that the majority of the field took 2 sets so far, so they should have the 3rd set still to go. there's the fresh tires coming to play now, because Laster did take 4 when he pitted there. And I think he maybe just decided not to run the truck hard, but he is starting to kind of reel into 51 here. So we're going to have a battle, I think, shortly for that lucky dog position. Also going to keep an eye on Vanoski back here. I think Stoney Benfield's kind of reeling him in for position. Nick Leo on pit road now, 25 to go. So the window is open, 24 to go. When do you come to pit road? Looks up there against the boards. So 79, 80 is okay. Here comes Miles right now. So Miles pits 19 laps into the run. So I think this is going to force Casey to pit road. If you're Kyle Ethier, if you're Chris Lewis, I'm running this thing out. Hell, you can even throw Whitaker and Laster in there, and even Mertez, because of how long you're on pit road. Now, also, if you're Casey, you can back up a little bit here. As Kyle Ethier comes to pit road, so apparently Kyle going to stay on the same strategy here. 4 tires and fuel for Miles. And as Carrington comes to pit road now, so the leader is in with 20 laps to go. And Ethier 9.3, I believe that's a two-tire stop for the 87. We'll see where he comes out with this, as Carrington 4 tires and fuel. As Stoney Benfield comes to pit road. And Chris Lewis coming in now, 19 laps to go. There's the pastor on pit road. There's Lewis on pit road, non-pastor. I mean that in a nice way. 2 tires for Lewis. Or no, I'm sorry, he took 4. Never mind, 15 flat. I'm wrong. I'm blind. Blind to one eye, can't see out the other. And the leader now is Ryan Whitaker. Brayton Laster right behind him, and then Carrington 5 seconds back. And again, this is that strategy I talked about. Let go as long as you can. Because if you get a yellow right now, you set yourself back up to be on the lead lap and even maybe steal some track position here. And here comes Whitaker to pit road. He yelled he was coming to pit road. So I'm surprised Lewis went low like that. He must not have heard him or something. But that's going to hand the lead to old Pizza Man. Brayton Laster to the front. Carrington catching up really quickly here with those 4 tires. Miles, 3.2 seconds back. You wonder if he's got anything left in him to get up there to Carrington. As Dean with issues, he's mowing the grass over here on the front straightaway. As we stay green and Carrington goes to the lead. Martez on pit road. Dean back on pit road. Eurechio. And just heard Laster say he's going to come to pit road here. So he tried. Hey, for effort. And the one thing that is, he just brought up a good point in chat, is remember, you do get a bonus point now for leading a lap in this series. So, and that's actually kind of made things interesting. I looked at the points for the Gen 4 series on Tuesday nights. How about this? For the first time in league history, I believe, I'll have to check with Lewis on this, we have a 4-way tie for the points lead. After 2 races, we have 5th place a point back. 6th place is like 5 points back. I'm like, oh, everybody's on top of another here. So, man, I'm not going to say that was the main factor. I mean, everybody's had good finishes, but still, to have that tight of a battle, I mean, every point's going to matter. So 9 laps to go. There's a battle for position. Martez with the 4 feel goods. I don't know if they're feeling so good anymore, but gonna get up against the boards there. Martez is gonna be racing at Wake County this weekend in Raleigh, North Kakalaki. As this is a battle for the 7th position here. Oh, ripping them boards. Got up there a little too high and then drove it off the wall. Good job on that part. But Vanoski doing a good job protecting that top groove, kind of aero blocking, if you will. Five laps to go. It looks like Dean did finally take his truck behind the wall. Unfortunately, issues there. Oh, Mertez, hold on. Oh, he goes around. And for the 4th time in a row, TI overtime. It happens every week now. Every race so far this season has ended in overtime in both series. Might have to have a discussion with Lewis about just doing a 3-lap race. And Kyle Ethier comes to pit road. Makes you wonder, does he have tires of some kind? With only 4 cars in the lead lap, Whitaker's going to get the lucky dog. Zach got a little tight there. Looked like Vinoski might have got loose and then went for a little tail wag. Down the front straight or back straightaway, locked it down. I would talk to Casey, but he's probably chewing his nails really badly right now. So it sounds like Ether has left side tires to work with here. So might work. I mean, fresh tires are fresh tires. It's going to be all kinds of tight, but it might work. So can Carrington get through the gearbox here? Reminder, don't spin the tires because the car will go right. We've learned this multiple times now. And Miles, I think, has learned from his last time. Pace car pulls off. Carrington can go whenever. There he goes. Everybody good. Good restart for Casey. Lewis, don't know the defensive move on Ethier, going to 3, trying to get 3rd. Yeah, I think Kyle's just a little tight there on that left side tire, as you can see it. White flag, final lap for Carrington. I think he's going to be pretty successful this season in these cars if he stays out of trouble. He led laps in Tuesday night's race before getting in trouble from the pole. Tonight he doesn't win the pole, but I guess it will be a trade-off, as he's going to go P1 off turn 4 in the 4 truck as Carrington gets his first TI win. Ironically, a fan of Casey Kane growing up, who won at the Rock in the number 4 truck. Miles gets second. Lewis, Ethier, Whitaker, your top 5. And Eurykio is chasing down Lewis. I don't know if there was any intent there, but anyway. So Carrington goes to victory lane. Let's take a look at the final standings here at the Rock. Carrington wins it over Stephen Miles, as I about just gave myself a Charlie horse in the leg. Lewis finishes 3rd. Kyle Ethier 4th. Ryan Whitaker 5th. That means I need to drink water. Brayton Laster 6th. Vodowski 7th. Tony Benfield, the faster pastor, finishes 8th. Zach Mertez going to be disappointed with 9th. Craig Martin blinks his way to 10th. Dallas Childers misses another top 10 by 1 position. Eurykio, Willard, Christopher Dean, Nick Leo, Ronald Piles, Brandon Alphin, unfortunately finishing in the 17th position. As we talk to the drivers that finish here in the top 3 tonight. And 3rd place goes to the boss man, Chris Lewis. I guess we'll be able to cover both things here in this interview. As Chris, you finished 3rd here this evening. Congratulations on that. And what was a pretty good race tonight.
I thought it was. This is my first 3rd place with you, Scala, so glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad somebody's happy.
I'm tickled to death. I had fun. I feel bad for Eurykio. I watched the broadcast while I was racing. Pretty dangerous, but it looks like we got some net code, and I feel really bad. That's the 2nd race in a row that I've wrecked him, and I know he's pretty upset with me, and I don't blame him, but I guess I'll have to have a conversation post-race with him.
That is an unfortunate situation. I mean, you could bring him a... Never mind. But great job here, obviously, in the race this evening. It seemed like the truck had a lot of grip in her, and you were one that was ripping up there against the fence.
I've been practicing all week running that line, and at the start of the race, it wasn't working. The bottom line was working, but as the race progressed, as the sun went down, the top line was the lane to beat. So
was that more of a worn tires thing, or was that more of a track rubbering up thing?
I have no idea. I just know the top was fast, and I was going to the top.
Well, talk about that last restart there, because you made a pretty good move and almost had a chance to get Miles there for a second.
I tried. I felt like I was faster than him. At the very end, I could have doored him, but I went to the apron just trying to get something, and he beat me by half a truck.
I don't know if he would have been a good one to door, but speaking of doors, you could walk in the door at Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Talk about what we got going on there.
That is it. We have Gladiators. It's apparently the last year of them. I'm glad somebody, tells me this stuff. But if you want a Gladiator,
you research this stuff? I mean, what else are we doing?
We're living the dream. That's all we can do.
Well, great job tonight, man. Send a shout out whoever you like to.
Well, thank you. I'd like to thank Ali. I'm Little Shabish, and Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Astral Rooftop Bar Tours, my team, my boys, Miles. He's done a good job captaining this team this year, and looking forward to next week. And you, thank you, Captain Esports Network.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, we need to talk next week on the side. So great job tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Chris Lewis, the third place finisher, the boss man, and apparently doesn't look over his research on gladiators. Anyways, all right, let's talk to our second place finisher tonight, that being, who was, it's Miles. We'll see how disappointed Mr. Miles is tonight. And finishing, if I can get this to work out correctly, there in the second position, Stephen Miles. Congratulations. I know it's not a win, but still a top 2 finish for you.
Yeah, it was a hard night. I don't know why it was so hard to me, but I didn't have enough for Casey. He chose the right setup. I chose the wrong one. I mean, I tried to get him. I hung with him, but I couldn't get past him. Longer we went, the worse I got, which is a shocker for me. So, congrats to him.
Is that more of a because obviously we run fixed setups here, so it's not like you're going out there and running your own setup. So with that said, what different is there possible he can do for somebody who maybe is watching for the first time?
Oh, like telling no secrets or nothing. But I mean, for somebody the first time, I mean, it's 3 ratios you can run. They say all of them are different, it fits your driving style. But I mean, once you run so many laps in practice, you'll figure out what setup for what track saves your tires or is the better overall steering ratio or even offset. Man, you could be a scientist in a lab and come up with a perfect experiment. So. I mean, I ran 14. I definitely wasn't gonna run 16, but I know he ran 12. It's more twitchier, more sensitive, and that's probably what you needed on this track to stay loose enough to keep the momentum around the corners. So, I mean, it's all good. I take a second place, 1, 2, the first 2 races of the season. I couldn't ask for a better start.
Well, great job tonight. Yeah, you're going to be probably the point leader when this is all over with, once I get the points updated. So send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Marion Chrysler and Dodge over in North Carolina, man, one of the best dealerships around. Great prices. I really hope people go over there and check it out. And my teammates, Dean, Lewis, Alphin. That's a shame Alphin signal went out because I felt like he was faster than me and had some for Casey, but it just his internet went out. I guess it's storming or something over there. And appreciate the best broadcaster in the game, you. And thank God to my girlfriend, and that'll be it.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday night.
You too.
Absolutely. Pyrex there, by the way, finishing second. Got him. As Miles finishes second to the winner tonight, gets his first career win. And for Casey Carrington, it's his second first career win, but first one where I did not talk to him before, as he goes to victory lane here tonight. And Casey, you did something that Casey Kane did here once.
What's that?
Won a race in the 4 truck.
Oh, was he in the 4 for that one?
He was in the 4, the Rockwell 4.
How about that? Hell, yeah. If I'd known that, it probably would have jinxed me. So I'll take it.
Well, you didn't throw Rockwell on your truck, which was good. But
Yeah.
what a Miles said it best, man. You outclassed him tonight, man. I know you're kind of good on these older surfaces and that kind of thing. But what were you able to do different to pull away and dominate this race?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, just the first run where you had the double stint of tires, I did a really good job of getting out front early and getting that gap built. And honestly, when you're leading at tracks like this, once you get that gap, it's easy because then I can drive 80% of what the guys behind me are and still hold on to the lead. And, the setup starting out so tight to begin with, it was hard to pass as it was. So once I was able to get out there maybe a second and a half or whatever, I was pretty comfortable and was kind of just riding around trying to manage the car. I mean, it felt like Darlington out there, man. It was so tight, especially early in the race before the track started cooling off. I was struggling. It's one of those things that later in the race, that's probably what you saw talking about the the lead and just how I was able to stretch it out. I think it was about 6 seconds at one point, just because as the track was starting to cool off with the accelerated time, it was coming to me, and I was a little loose there towards the end. So it's just one of those things. I got a good start. I knew. I told the whole teammates right there on the grid. I was like, well, I didn't win the pole, so I've got a chance to win tonight. 'Cause if I won the pole, I wouldn't have had to. But
well, you've
yeah,
won.
it's
You've won
Go
the
ahead.
pole for what, 3 races, and you didn't win, and the one you haven't, you win. Go figure.
Yeah, go figure. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I love this track. Doesn't matter what it is. We could be in go karts, and I'd love running here. So probably the most dominating win of my league racing career to this point. And yeah, I was thinking there with the last 10 laps or so. They talk about in real life, every driver starts hearing a vibration or every noise the car starts making. I was kind of like that.
Did you
I
start-
was staring at my frame rate monitor.
I
I
was gonna
was
say.
I was sticking my hand out, making sure my computer wasn't overheating. I was keeping an eye on the track. When that caution came out, I was so scared because I just knew there had to have been somebody probably like fourth or fifth that had an extra set of tires or something. I was scared to death they were going to be able to run me down. But yeah, all in all, man, it was pretty much a perfect race, about as close as I can get at least.
So I gotta ask. Obviously, you got the series that you run there on Friday nights, and one thing you've always kind of joked in a sarcastic way, and in a way you're being serious, but you've always talked about struggling with pit stops. How much has this been helping you? Kind of. I know it's a different car, but still, it's got to help you with timing in pit road.
Oh yeah, it's good to get the reps in. I mean, I was honestly had that in my thought, or had that thought in my mind last week making my debut here at Texas, because like, oh man, we got to make like 5 pit stops. I struggle to make 2 cleanly. But yeah, it's been good practice, and I'm there I guess the second to last pit stop. I thought I was gonna speed because I came in a little hot, and you know how it is. You get that little buffer. You can be like 4 or
Mhm.
5 miles an hour over once you cross the line. It's like they do something with average speed. I don't know how it works, but either way, I got away with it. So yeah, I kept it clean in the pits, and if I can get out of my own way, it's hard to beat me, I guess, at tracks like this. And I sure as hell didn't get my own way tonight.
Well, I guess the one way you do make it up is you slow down to match that speed on the other side. But still, great job tonight, man. Welcome to Victory Lane, and send some shout out to whoever you like to.
Shout out to you and Lewis for running the league. Shout out to Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Is that the right order?
You got it.
Yeah. If you're, I guess anywhere in the country with the online site, you can go there and get you a new vehicle. And hey, if they're looking to extend their series sponsorships, I've got one I could link them up with. But they're doing a great job here
Hint,
with
hint,
TI
nudge,
on
nudge.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, man, shout out to I guess all my teammates. Steven Melnick, I guess he's the boss. Ronald Piles, he got he had a bad night, but he made the best of it. Craig Martin, big shout out to him for getting me on the team. I just came in here to hang out and race a couple fun tracks here at the start of the season, and he's the one that got me onto the team, so that's cool. And yeah, I think that's about it. Shout out to everybody watching, whether it's live or on demand, or 10 years from now on holodisc. Shout out to you guys as well.
Thanks for coming out tonight.
Yeah, thank you for coming out tonight, guys.
Yeah, there you go. That boy.
Hey, this is a good setup. It's a good way to get my confidence up for it to be wrecked tomorrow night when I'll probably get taken out 10 laps in.
Oh,
But
jeez. You know what?
yeah,
Is this the time I think we should debut this? Don't you got a little saying
that?
you always like to say about my broadcast? Not the post ending. I'm talking the NASCAR. Thing.
Oh, God, I don't have that written. I don't
Okay,
have
you
that written
usually
down
do
anywhere.
it right off the top of the dome.
And we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to the Captain Esports Network. All rights, discriminations, and whatever this broadcast may not be disseminated, or reused, or rewritten in any way, shape, or form without written consent. First, Gal, the captain. The captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for tuning in tonight, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.
Bam!
I'm out. See ya.
That's pretty solid right there, I'd say. Not bad off the top. Good job, Case.
Yeah, you couldn't see me drop my headset there and walk away. So
That would be a headset drop.
I think it didn't break. It landed on something soft. But
Just blame Finley. Anyways, all right, good job.
thank you, bud.
All right, bud. We've had that, by the way. Like, he's wanted to do that, and I got to get a recording of that somehow. How perfect would that be of an ending? But anyways, good job, Casey Carrington, on the win. He's a creative dude, does a good job, and a good racer out there in that Ford truck going to victory lane here this evening. So, all right, yeah, let's go on. Next Thursday night, it'll be iRacing Super Speedway for the trucks, Gen 4 car Pocono on Tuesday. So appreciate all the viewers for watching tonight. Appreciate all the racers, Lewis, and everybody. And for those with Sky Moore in your lineup like me, anyways, welcome back, football, I guess. This isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.